This is KGW News at noon.
And we want to start with this live look at the radar. It is an active afternoon, but what was a sizable storm threat just about 30 minutes ago with thunder and lightning has settled down a little bit. Meteorologist Rod Hill is joining me now live in studio with all you need to know. Rod.
And keep in mind, just because things have settled down right now, there's multiple reasons to believe that later this afternoon, our storm threat will really refire itself. So as Brendan mentioned, for the time being, things have kind of quieted. This is just all rain up into Sandy and Estacada. We are watching this heavy rain cell just north of the Union Mills area. This potentially could pop some lightning at any moment as it starts to move up to the north toward Oregon City. We've had some light rain areas in Portland. Here's the wider viewpoint. Tell you what, around 11 o'clock this morning, when you bumped into the Cascades down around Mount Jefferson, it was just a wall of lightning. You couldn't even see through the lightning icons to the radar. There's a heavy storm cell north of Madras, still getting some lightning out of that one, a new storm cell near Mount Jefferson. So just realize we stay unstable for the remainder of today. And there is an active thunderstorm threat in the forecast. That would include lightning, heavy rain, downpours that potentially could produce some quick flash flooding in urban areas. Gusty winds may accompany these storms. The storms that have fired so far today have been moving northward as quickly as 20 to 30 miles per hour, and this storm threat actually continues tonight. Here's the look at the cloud cover from the Rose City camera. We're at 69 degrees. We may or may not get up into the 80s today. It would depend on rain and cloud cover, but I would say 84 at the highest. Coming up, Futurecast locked in on one storm around 6 o'clock tonight, headed toward Portland. I'll show you that in just a bit.
We'll see you then. Thank you, Rod. The big story nationally this noon, the escalating federal investigations into former President Trump. Today, the FBI was at his home in Florida, reportedly searching for documents he improperly removed from the White House. NBC's Kerry Sanders has the latest.
A senior official tells NBC News that the FBI spent much of Monday here at Mar-a-Lago. Another official telling NBC News that they were looking for classified documents that were brought here after Mr. Trump left office.
Mr. Trump, can we get your reaction to the raid, sir?
In a statement issued just before 7 o'clock Monday night, Mr. Trump said Mar-a-Lago was under siege, raided, and occupied by a large group of FBI agents, claiming it was unannounced and portraying himself as the victim of political persecution, adding, "They even broke into my safe." According to a source familiar with the search, it was related to classified information the former president allegedly took with him to Mar-a-Lago after leaving the White House. In February, the National Archives announced that classified material was discovered in 15 boxes of White House records stored at the estate, referring the matter to the Justice Department. Republicans overnight criticizing the search. Senator Lindsey Graham writing, "Launching such an investigation of a former president this close to an election is beyond problematic." The Justice Department is also pursuing a separate investigation into January 6th. Last month, Attorney General Merrick Garland telling Lester Holt that an election would not affect their efforts.
So if Donald Trump were to become a candidate for president again, that would not change your schedule or how you move forward or don't move forward?
Say again that we will hold accountable anyone who is criminally responsible for attempting to interfere with the legitimate, lawful transfer of power from one administration to the next.
A lawyer for Mr. Trump says that she was here and present during the search and that they are cooperating with the FBI and the Department of Justice.
Now to Washington State and a potential shakeup in the 3rd District race for Congress. The numbers are shifting as workers continue to count ballots from last week's primary. Republican Joe Kent is now leading 6-term GOP incumbent Jamie Herrera Butler by almost 1,000 votes. Donald Trump endorsed Kent, and Herrera Butler voted to impeach the former president. Catherine Cook shows us the battle to move on in Washington's top 2 primary.
A close race is a close race until it's certified.
Words to remember from elections officials as the race for Washington's 3rd Congressional District heats up again. On Monday, 6 days after election night, Republican candidate Joe Kent knocked Jamie Herrera Butler out of second place by 960 votes. Democrat and political newcomer Marie Gluesenkamp Perez has already secured first place, with the top two heading for a runoff in November.
It'll be, I think, intense, and it'll catch some national attention.
Political analyst Len Bergstein believes that will be especially true if Herrera Butler, a six-term incumbent, isn't there, and Joe Kent is.
If his campaign is a look back to kind of, restore the grievance of the Trump years, if that's what his campaign turns out to be about, and Perez turns out to be talking about something about the future, then it could make the race a lot tighter and a lot more interesting in terms of people's attention than it might be otherwise if it was an incumbent.
On Monday, Kent spoke with conservative radio talk show host Lars Larson. He expressed frustration over division among Republicans during the primary.
They won't go along to get along Republicans like Jamie Herrera Butler. And so it's tragic because we've spent millions of dollars, the Republican Party has spent millions of dollars working against other Republicans and my Democrat opponent, Marie Gluesenkamp Perez, because the Democrats displayed unity and discipline. They got into the top two by spending less than $100,000.
Herrera Butler's camp on Monday declined to comment, saying, quote, "We're going to watch the vote count for one more day before making any declarative statements." In Clark County, 143,060 people voted. That's 44% turnout, and according to Auditor Greg Kimsey, the largest primary in county history.
Just a very large number of ballots that need to be processed, and we've never before been verifying signatures the Monday after the election.
And there's still around 11,000 ballots left to go, with those results expected Tuesday evening. But given the high stakes and quick turnaround before the general election, Bergstein says these campaigns haven't a day to lose, including this one.
The campaigns probably right now, starting today, are probably going to meet and figure out, what their top issues are to appeal to the voters.
To trigger an automatic recount, the results have to be within 2,000 votes and a half percentage point of the total votes for both candidates. Right now, the race meets that first threshold, but it does not meet the second. You can look for updated numbers later today. Here in Multnomah County, we reported another person in Portland died from the heat on Sunday, and 7 others died in the county during the heat wave at the end of July. That makes at least 15 lives lost in Oregon to heat-related illness this year. Medical examiners will have to do further work to confirm the official cause of death in each case. A man is in jail this afternoon accused of stabbing a security guard in the head outside the Oregon Convention Center. This happened in broad daylight yesterday afternoon. Police say the guard was taken to the hospital with serious injuries. Officers arrested the 49-year-old suspect nearby. No word on a motive, but the man is also charged with menacing for another incident on the same day. The Beaverton School Board is debating whether or not the district should have school resource officers, or SROs. Here's a snapshot of a recent survey. Less than half of students' questions supported SROs in schools. Certain groups were more likely to oppose them, including students with disabilities, non-binary kids, and students of color. Critics cited disproportionate discipline, arrests, and referrals. Now, on the flip side, almost a third of those surveyed say they don't know anything about SROs. The report concluded that less than 20% of all students, staff, and parents oppose the program. But here's one of the people behind the report talking about the amount of misinformation in the public discourse.
A lot of people said that they really support SROs in part because they believe, or they want to believe, that SROs stop school shootings from occurring. And the evidence just simply does not support that belief and that perception. And they found that the death rate was nearly 3 times as high in schools with an armed officer or guard compared to those without one.
So those comments coming at yesterday's school board meeting. As of right now, Beaverton will continue to employ SROs, but the superintendent will review the data and then make recommendations. You can find the full report on the district's website under the School Board tab.